have 4 big lessons to share with you today that I learned from my parents about success in life and business. I learned from watching my parents who also run a business, and they taught me so much more than just what they did for a living, but what they did every day to make their lives better. My parents own a hockey league, which I know is very Canadian of my family. I'm gonna share these 4 lessons with you about success in life and business today, but first I wanna give you a background of my parents because I think a lot of the lessons come from the stories that we observe in other people, and you might learn a lot just by seeing where these lessons come from. I grew up watching them run this league and always knew that the hockey players that played in it loved them for the opportunity they provided to play the game. Their employees, the timekeepers, the referees loved working for my parents. It's a well-run business, and people in Canada, we love hockey. And I would sometimes maybe answer the phone when their employees or their players who I didn't know would call. I was just a kid. But when I answered the phone, they knew me. They'd be like, "Hi Marley, how are you? How's school? How's soccer practice? How's singing lessons? Can I talk to your mom or dad?" And I thought that was so interesting that they cared about our family because my parents cared about theirs and cared about them being able to play a good old game of hockey. And it wasn't until I got to university age and I was at a party and some guys heard my last name and they were like, "Wait a minute, is Rainier your dad?" And I was like, yeah. And they were like, "Dude, oh my God, your dad is so cool. His mustache is legendary." It is. "He's such a good goalie." He is. "Oh my God, it was the hockey league, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, I knew my dad was cool, but I had no idea that he was so much cooler than I am. I had no idea that he was like this local celebrity because of him putting together this game of hockey in our community. I read this story once from Walt Disney's biography about how his daughters, when they were young, one day they asked him, "Dad, are you the Walt Disney?" Like they know their dad is Walt Disney, but they're hearing at school or wherever about Disney and the movies and the park, and they're like, "Wait a minute, that's my dad?" That's kind of how I felt in that moment with my dad too. I always knew that he ran this hockey league. Like my memories, my parents were very hands-on, present, loving, but they were busy. They had stress. I saw the ups and downs of running a business while also still having 9-to-5 jobs and balancing work and family. But my dad, he would work at his government job from 9 to 5. He'd be with us, the family, dinner, play, whatever, with us kids until we went to bed. And then he would work on the hockey league, some nights until 2 a.m. Then sleep, get up in the morning, have breakfast with us, take me and my brother to school, and do it all over again. So this man that these college guys were so thrilled about was my dad. My dad, I mean, with his legendary mustache and also being the hockey player and really the face of the business. And my mom was the admin, more behind the scenes, managing their employees. And like, you get on the phone with my mom and everyone falls in love with her. And she's so funny too. She'll quote Anchorman and movies like a champ. This is where I learned how I wanted to conduct myself in business. Being a positive influence, bringing together community, appreciating the team around you, being generous with pay and gifts and bonuses. It was never about the money, it was about the people. And it was about being good, about building something that you can be proud of with the people that you love that are also part of that culture. So now that you know the story of my parents, I'm gonna share with you the 4 keys that I learned from them to success in life and business. And if you stay to the end, I'm also gonna give you the formula that I've used to ensure that my business is selling and growing at a faster rate than our competitors. And this is also a big thing that I learned from my parents, so stick around. The first one is one that I never saw coming and one that I actually teased my dad about. And the first one is that walking is a key to success. My dad has worked downtown for over 30 years, and not once did he ever, I mean ever, not even on a bad day, pay for parking. He preferred parking wherever he could find free parking and enjoyed the walk. And he hands down probably saves 6 figures in parking costs. And I used to tease him about this, thinking, parking isn't that expensive, Dad, just pay for it, save the time. I didn't realize the priceless insights earned from that time spent walking and how much reflection, introspection, perspective that I miss out on by trying to speed through things quickly in life or race to the next stoplight. I also think of Einstein and many other great geniuses and innovators who consider their daily walk sacred, non-negotiable. Walking actually boosts your memory, your creativity, your problem solving. So I look at my dad as someone who, growing up, had all the answers, and I'm very lucky that I can always call him up when I need help or have a question. But now I also understand the answers are available for me to find when I just take the time to slow down and put one foot in front of the other. The second key is keep your word and always do what you say you're gonna do. Commitment and integrity are my highest values, and my parents are huge examples of that. Be on time, treat people respectfully, and communicate tactfully. I witnessed this in life and in business from them. Whether it was, yes, Marley, we'll be at your soccer practice or your piano recital, and showing up for their employees exactly how they said they would. And I respect this so much because the people that I look to as entrepreneurs that I want to be mentored by or learn from, I look at, do they have the life balance that I want? Are they hustling and burning out to find the success? Or are they the people that are actually following through and treating the people around them with respect, showing up when they said they would? Because if you can't show up to a promise or commitment you've made for someone else, how can you show up for yourself? I think that's been a huge key to what has made them successful, is sticking by their promises, not just as a promise, but as a full commitment. I want to know what values were passed down to you that made you the person you are today. Maybe it was from a parent or a teacher or a friend. Who taught you to become the entrepreneur you are today? Let me know in the comments below. The third key is always put in a minimum effort of 100%. This is a line that my mom said to me when I moved across the country for school when I was 18, and it always stuck with me. I remembered this when I was studying. I remembered this when having my first job out of college and university. And my parents, again, were examples of this. My dad always had a full-time job and the business. Even to this day, he just retired recently, but for over 30 years, worked 9 to 5, spent the evenings with the family, then would work again till late at night on the business, sometimes till 2 a.m. just to wake up at 7 a.m. to go to his job. So to have my mom tell me, always put in a minimum effort of 100%, and then see my parents be living, breathing examples of that, I think is what installed such a strong work ethic in me that I'm very proud of and has built who I am and the business that I have today because of who they taught me to be. My parents were always really encouraging, but not the kind that had to put hard pressure on me to succeed. I didn't get the nagging to get my homework done or to get straight A's. I became a high achiever because I followed their example. In fact, there were many times that my mom encouraged me to maybe I should have slowed down, because honestly, I burnt out so many times. I'd sometimes put my hands in the fire and have to get burnt myself many times before learning my lesson. But what I appreciate is that my parents gave me the space to learn those lessons on my own, knowing that I would really get the lesson if I learned it through experience. Which brings me to my fourth key. If you want to influence people, don't try to persuade them, be an example. I think about this a lot when I'm creating my content or coaching my clients or training my audience on new principles that I'm teaching them about marketing or business. And I think about how much stronger you are as an influence when you are just the example, rather than trying to be persuasive and use maybe neuro-linguistic programming and all these things that people are teaching online these days. The strongest lessons I have in my life are the people who are living that life by example, and I see exactly how I want to follow in their footsteps. Bringing it back to what I was saying before about integrity and commitment, your actions speak louder than words, and your audience is going to be able to really see through if something that you're saying doesn't match up or align with who you are as a person. Think about people you follow online that maybe there's something they said that sounds good, but you just have this like gut feeling or vibe that you're like, I don't really align with them. I can't put my finger on why, but it comes back down to being and living that example. These are some of the keys that brought me to my success in my life and business. And earlier in this video, I promised you I'd be giving you my formula that I've used to grow my business to multiple 7 figures. And I want to help you to get to your next 2 Comma Club award. I have a free training that is the perfect next step, and I want to give you access to my highest performing, most revenue generating campaigns that you can just plug and play into your business and your YouTube channel to maximize lead generation and sales. So if you click on the link in the description below, you can attend my next free private training where I'll be showing you exactly how to ascend leads from hello to high ticket. No, you do it. Oh, me? Yeah. I also read, then sleep, get up in the morning, have breakfast, get up in the morning, have breakfast. That's the word. Get up in the morning, have breakfast. What? One thing, many things. you know, what am I saying? Smell the coffee. I don't drink coffee. Maybe I should have.